Greetings YouTube, I'm Fox Indigo and you're watching my channel Fox on Flix. On this channel I review Black movies, and if you want to hear any of my Black television reviews, then you can find me on my podcast. It's called Fox on Flix and you can find it on the many streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google, whatever streaming service that you use. But the biggest thing that I really need you to do is give this video a thumbs up. You know that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Please subscribe, and if you know other people who are into Black movies, movie reviews, share this with them as well. Is Sylvie's Love. You can find it on Amazon. It came out in 2020 and it was directed by Eugene Ash. It stars Tessa Thompson and Nnamdi Asomugha. This is a period piece. It's set in about the late 1950s, 1960s. Just to let you know, it is a romance. Maybe this is something that you could watch with your date, or maybe if you're, a lonely woman. I watched it alone. I'm not a lonely woman though. This movie is a love story. It's about a budding romance of two teenagers in 1950s, 1960s Harlem. This is a story before its time. It's about a young girl who pretty much is a rebel. And I guess in the sense of what a woman was in the 1950s. She was just expected to, go to finishing school, find a rich husband, and she was going to stay at home and she was going to raise the children. I mean, that was pretty much the standard role, I want to say, of most women. The standard across the board was women stayed home. But Tessa Thomas's character, who is Sylvie, is not one of those women. And one summer she meets a young saxophone player called Bobby, and Bobby is very talented. Sylvie is actually already promised or engaged to another young man, and she develops feelings for Robert. She's enthralled by him. He's talented. He's a Renaissance man pretty much of that time. A sax player, a jazz player. He's in all the inner circles and he's really working on his career. And this is one of those Romeo Juliet type of movies, star-crossed lovers. Does the movie end up in the typical way of a star-crossed lover movie? This movie is worth watching. What I liked about it is, even though the movie is clearly shot on a soundstage, or maybe I'm ruining for it was clear to me that the locations were a soundstage, but they did have cross shots of old New York. I actually liked seeing that. You got to see Times Square, you got to see the old taxis, the old cars. You got to see that New York was less congested than what it is now. I don't know if that might be hard for some people to imagine. There were some moments where I felt the movie was rushed quite a bit. I also thought some of the characters could have been developed a little bit more, since they seem to have played a major role, or they were kind of the catalyst to what was really happening to the story. So I felt that maybe I needed to know a little bit more of those characters' motivations. The mother's character, Sylvie's mother's character, was rushed, and the dad's character I felt could have been built a little bit more than where they left him. I also was confused by Bobby or Robert's decisions that he was making. I'm not exactly sure, I think, if a man in his position would be making those choices that he did. And I know sometimes many of us may feel that we're not up to par for our partner, or we could be doing a little bit better. But I'm not exactly sure if we would be making the exact decisions that Robert was making, especially when you have the chance to really live this happy life. I'm also not a fan of filters. There seem to have been a couple of scenes where the filter I felt was overutilized. I know it was a period piece, and I feel like they wanted the viewer to feel as though they were back in the late 50s and in the late 60s, and I want to say that they did a really good job. I'm an 80s baby, and I just have references from, you know, stories and obviously books and movies like this. It didn't feel like a modern movie trying to be an old film, and it actually felt authentically like the 1950s. I know I've never been there, but it felt like these characters were real. It felt like, even though I was able to see that it was a soundstage, it really was old Harlem. It was old New York. The costumes, the hair, it all felt really, really authentic. I would suggest you watch this movie. It is on Amazon. It's not boring. It isn't too sappy. It is a modern story about a modern woman before her time. Well guys, that's it. At the end of my movie review, trying to keep it short and sweet. I've gained so much weight during COVID. I gotta go get my workout on, but I want to thank you for visiting my channel. Again, I'm Fox Indigo. Please leave your comments down below. Give me some suggestions. Don't forget to please give my video a thumbs up to help the algorithm. Share it across YouTube. If you know anybody who's into Black movie reviews, share it with them. Share, share, share. If you're into Black movie reviews, then you should be subscribing to this channel. Thank you. Love, kisses, and hugs. That's a wrap.